Hello, everyone, and welcome. I'm going to pay attention to I'm going to watch the waiting room, so I will um, let more people in if there are anyone.
Perfect. I'll
Uh,
start talking then. Thank you everyone for taking this time today, or if you're watching the recording later on. It's so nice to have this moment with you. This is the welcome information webinar for exhibitors and sponsors, and we're just going to give you a little overview of what to expect and details as you're finalizing your plans. If you have any questions at any point, feel free to add them into group chat or whatever. We'll take time at the end for questions, and you can unmute yourself and ask yourself. Or if you're watching later, you just email Anne-Marie or I. These are who we are. I'm Sarah Deming-Hanis. I'm the exhibit manager for Loquworld, and my picture is on the left.
And my name is Anne-Marie Colliander Lind, and I'm sure that many of you recognize my name or my voice from meetings in our conversations about sponsorships leading up to Loquworld 50. Thank you all for being here. So speaking of sponsors, we couldn't have done this without you. We are very grateful for the lineup here, and I would like to give a special thanks to Phrase, who is our platinum sponsor for Silicon Valley, Intento, gold sponsor, RWS and TBO Talent are our silver sponsors, and we are also going to be treated dinner by Translated, and everything kicks off on the day before the main conference with a welcome reception that is kindly sponsored by Bureauworks. So thank you all for being here. We are very grateful for your continued or your new support. And while we are at it, Loquworld 50 also have a solution squares, and these are to date, I would say, the exhibitors that have signed up. We still have a few booths left, so if you are in dialogue with anyone who would like to join us in Silicon Valley, feel free to recommend them to check out the options we have for exhibitors. So we have a couple of new companies, but also a lot of returning companies, and we are really excited, and we are hopeful that we are going to have a very energetic solution square in Silicon Valley. I'm letting a few more people in, so we have a good crowd here, Sarah.
This is great.
I would like to repeat at this point in time that this is being recorded. So if you missed the entrance of the show, you can go back and watch the recording. More importantly, we will take questions by the end of this webinar. Over to you, Sarah.
I'll take a quick moment and say tools for you, just to highlight that at loquworld.com, there's the Exhibitor Toolkit. You can find this under the About tab at the website. This is a great place to go if you're looking for a quick answer. So things like the schedule, the contact information for curtain, other things like that, you can just find that there. You're always welcome to write Anne-Marie or I with any questions, but if you are just looking to confirm something or a quick answer, you might want to check the Exhibitor Toolkit page. So that's what I wanted you to know about that.
And I'll continue with talking about social media because, of course, we want everyone to know about this exciting event that we are going to do or have together in Silicon Valley. So the sooner you start talking about your presence at Loquworld 50, the better, the more attention we will get. So official hashtag for this conference around is Loquworld 50. Yes, it's our 50th event, and we're very excited about that. We are present on all these 4 media channels. So if you are too, please remember to tag us, and we will try to repost, share, and engage as much as we can. These are just 3 silly examples of what you can write. I'm sure that your creativity is much greater than mine. And if you don't recognize that little X in the left bottom corner, that's where we used to say Twitter, but that's X now. Feel free to share the news and spread the word around so that people know that there is something exciting going on in Silicon Valley a month from now. Over to you. Back to you, Sarah.
All right, so the event app. So we have our networking app, which will again be hosted on Event Mobi, which we've used at our last couple of Loquworlds and are very happy with. The back office access will begin on the 19th of September. So next Tuesday from now in time. Back office access is the point where the exhibitor contact person will be able to look at all of your company information, the social media links. You'll be able to add other links to other things, or add links to papers if you want to. It's kind of the way that you can control what your exhibitor listing will look like. You aren't able to see the front of what it is from that point, but it does give you a very comprehensive view of everything that you are presenting at that point. If you want to know what it looks like from the front, you can ask me and I can try and take some screenshots of you. Then, starting on the 26th of September, everyone who is registered will have access to the full app. So the 26th is the time that you're going to want to have gotten all your ducks in rows, if that's something that you want to look for. You will find that I have preloaded anything that we have from loqueworld.com onto the app. So if you see that there is stuff that you would like to update there and you would like loqueworld.com updated as well, you'll need to send us a reminder, because that's two separate systems and we need to manually update, but you will get an email with all those instructions too as we get closer. And then we have a couple shots so that you have an idea of what it does look like just generally. This is the app. The networking app is actually able to be accessed through desktop or via your mobile device. This is what it looks like on the desktop. This is what our exhibitor listings kind of look like. So then once you click in on it, on one of these companies, it will show you more information. But this is just kind of the general. So it's a very clean, clean, straightforward interface, which I like. But then we also have it on mobile, and this is kind of what it looks like. So as you can see, this is one that I created for Loqueworld a little bit ago as an example, but you can add things like your website. You can add things like the social media links in addition to that area, or other links to other papers, websites, etc. So kind of play around with it after the 19th, see what you feel like doing. Then also, as part of the event Mobi, following Loqueworld 49, we are again using the lead capture app, which is again sponsored through event Mobi. Some of you have already gone ahead and purchased this. Some of you have not, which is fine. You don't need to use this. If you are interested, it's $300, and that's for your entire team. An unlimited amount of people can be added to that from your team. The lead capture system is quite simple. It's a separate app by event Mobi that you download. And you then can use that app to scan the QR code of whatever attendee you'd like to have their details for. The QR code can be found in two locations for our attendees. One is in the networking app. So in the networking app under their profile, which is what this image is from for my QR code, you can do it that way, or physically on the badges that everyone will have printed and be wearing at all times. On the back of the badge, thank you, Anne-Marie, as Anne-Marie shows us on hers, you can also physically scan that QR code that's there. And then once it's scanned, you can add lead qualifier ratings, notes, anything like that. Everyone on your team who is scanning leads, all of that gets combined in the same location. So you can see everyone in your team as you look into the leads you've collected in the app. And you can see that. And then it's downloadable for integration into your system, however you prefer. So anyone who has already purchased, anyone who purchases the lead capture app, I'm going to send a different email with more details about that, because it's not really worth going into more at this point with everyone, unless there's specific questions later on. But that's kind of what's available with the lead capture app. And it's also fine to not use. If your system doesn't use that, you don't need to use it. So Solution Square layout. I'll just mention that we have branded this space for many, many years Solution Square. So as you hear it referred to attendees, you'll hear it as Solution Square. That name to us is more evocative of what Loqueworld uses this space for, because it's a home of solutions, and it's also kind of the village square. It's where everyone gathers in between sessions. It's the community place for everyone in and around the session rooms going on. So that's what you'll see when it's referred to exhibitors. If you have any questions about that. And then this will look very similar to how it looked as you were booking your booths, but we've added a little more information in terms of room usage. So on the ground floor, which is the upper part of this map, as you can see, there's the doors from outside that take you into the registration, or on the lower right corner is the little arrow that points to the hotel lobby and lunch. That's where people who are staying at the venue will come and access all of this space. There are stairs then right above that that are the stairs to the second floor level. But as we stay on the ground floor level, I just want to draw your attention to the on the upper line of that map. There are 3 rooms that are session rooms. Those are all separate session rooms. So there will be 3 different tracks running at various times throughout the conference. So that's what you'll see in those rooms up there, near 104, 204, and 205. Then as we go to the second floor, again, up those stairs that are notated on the map. On the second floor, again, you can see the usual spread of booths. Oh, on both floors, you'll see also as notated the food and beverage locations. And then on this floor, you'll see we have added along that top line of the second floor map, there's a little lounge room that we have. Then in the middle room there is on Thursday is the unconference. So on Wednesday, this room will not be used, but on Thursday, it will have the unconference in it all day. And then the final 2 doors on that level are both accessing the plenary, which is our room with the most programming. So this will have the most programming, like the keynote happens there. And while the keynote is happening, the other rooms tend to be dark, that kind of stuff. And that's what the layout is.
Excellent. You have to keep on talking, Sarah, because
Oh,
this is
good.
also your slide.
Logistics. So at this point, everyone should have been contacted by Curtin directly. They are exhibit company. If you have not been contacted by them, please let me know. And if you're having any issues with them, please let me know. I'd love to try and help make things go smoother if there's any problems. They are also the shipping and warehouse company. So if you have shipped something, be aware that the window of time for them to receive stuff on their end was September 6th until the October 6th. So we still have some good time for that. They can talk to you more about that if you have questions. If you are just expecting your furniture that is part of the package, the table and 2 chairs and waste packet and stuff to just show up, you shouldn't need to do much more with Curtin, but they have other things on offer if that's something that you're interested in looking at. Do be aware that on the 19th, so next week, they have a deadline where advanced pricing on their items is going to go up. So if you're looking for the most budget-friendly thing, you're going to want to make those arrangements with them before the 19th. There's also a couple other deadlines in there too on the 19th for them, but that's in the exhibitor services kit you should have received from them, or you can ask me and I can talk about that more. The other thing I wanted to talk about here was the AV rental companies. We have 2 on offer this time around. One is Encore Global. They can take care of anything you need for AV. So whether it's additional power, whether it is a monitor, whether it is anything AV, they can take care of that. They are, however, pricey. It is because of how pricey they are that we received feedback from people last year and acknowledged it ourselves. They were quite pricey. We've found a secondary company to offer monitor rentals specifically. So if you are looking for a monitor with the cables and the stand or whatever, and that's all you need, we highly recommend that you go to Fog City Audio Visual to get your quote. They will be able to give you something that is not cheap, but it is definitely not going to cost the moon and the stars. So that's what I want to tell you about those AV rental options. And then there's a couple of things that I want to just specify here as we look at doing this event in California and also in the US. So when we come to the US, all of the booths become pipe and drape. When we're in Europe, they are octanorm systems. Here in the US, what we have is pipe and drape. So it will be blue drapes, as you can see here. The backdrop is 8 feet tall and is a blue drape and is as wide as the booth that you purchased, either 8 feet or 12 feet wide. The side drapes are 3 feet tall and 8 feet deep. And then the table will actually have white skirting on it. This is a picture that they were able to give me, but it clearly isn't white skirting. It makes sense at this time too to also note that because of these low sides, which gives this really great open feel and flow to the exhibit hall, which is one of the reasons we like that, Lokeworld has a policy that if you're going to have signage that's over 3 feet or items that's over 3 feet, we want those to go toward as far back in your booth as possible, so that as an attendee looks across the exhibit hall, They get the best sight line to all of the exhibits everywhere. Everybody benefits from this policy. Everybody gets the best visibility out of it. If you have practical questions about what does this mean with this particular sign and stuff, Anne Marie and I are happy once we're there in person to just actually physically look and talk about what the best solution is for where something is. But what you should know right now is that that's the general hope and plan of how we're going to be able to use the space to the best for everyone at this point. So that's what we want to say about this page.
Thank you so much, Sarah. And yeah, I think it's better that you also walk us through this slide.
And other things to also be aware of. So when we are hosting an event in California, it is worth noting that California is a very strong union state. Thank goodness. I personally have benefited in many ways from this. However, it does mean that there are some rules that seem sort of to the point where it is almost ridiculous that this is the extent that it is. In print, the rule that we have and that you all have received already is that for setting up your booth, carrying your own items into your booth, you're only allowed to do this without help from the union and thereby purchasing additional union labor. You can only avoid purchasing additional labor if it's something that one person can carry on their own, in their arms, without the use of a hand truck, a dolly, or wheels, and that you must then be able to set whatever it is up on your own within half an hour using no tools. This sounds really scary to me as a person just reading this rule. I will say we have never had this strictly enforced in the last so many times that we've been in California. If you are going to have an extensive setup in your exhibit, you are probably going to need to pay additional union rules. If this is the kind of thing that is, pretty darn close to this half-hour thing, like they're not going to be standing there watching me with a stopwatch. It's not that you can't go and take another trip because you forgot something, or actually it's like 1.5 loads. Go ahead, be a human, actually set your booth up. We just want to make sure that you are aware that on paper and what we have agreed to and you have agreed to is that this rule exists and it may be enforced at any time. That being said, don't worry about it and don't spend your nights thinking about how to make this work.
And again, any questions, we were happy to help. And yeah, if you're hesitant once you arrive at the venue, come find either of us and we will assist you and clarify anything. But as Sarah just said,
Absolutely.
to date, we have not had any incidences. Let's put it that way. Okay, so more logistics sometimes for you to be aware of, and yeah, keep an eye on when you need to be on site.
So of course there's the general schedule for attendees, and then this is just for exhibitors and setting up and stuff. So on October 10th, we have exhibitors set up between 12 and 4. You won't be allowed to set up before 12 because that's when Curtin and the power company that's running the power outlets to each booth are setting up. So 12 is really the earliest that your team will be able to get in there. 4 p.m. is the latest point that they'll be able to load in on that day because again, it's a union venue, and so they need to be around when we're doing stuff. So that's your window to set stuff up. If you're interested in participating, we will have informal, optional welcome meeting at 2:30, and it goes about 15 minutes. Anne Marie and I and Donna or Ulrich will be there, and it's just a chance for us all to see each other face to face in person. We'll go over the schedule again. We'll answer any questions. If there's anything that seems funky, you can, or your team's a little unclear of, we can just cover it then. Anne Marie and I will also be around throughout that setup time. So it's not your only chance to see or talk to us. It's just a moment for us to gather as a group. If you're not going to be able to make it, don't worry about it. But if you are around, please join us. It's a fun little way to get to be a group. On the 11th, our hours for the Solution Square to be open is from 8:30 a.m., which is a half hour before sessions begin, until 5:15 p.m. At 5:15, then we're going to let people have a break, a slight break, because the buses are going to start going within about a half hour, 45 minutes for the dinner venue. So that's why it's a cutoff at 5:15. And then on the 12th, Solution Square hours being open are 9 a.m. That again is a half hour before the sessions begin on that day. and it goes until 4:45, which is the end of our final break. And then at 4:45 until 5:30 is the closing session with the prize giveaway, which we'll talk more about later. But then exhibitors also can begin taking down whatever it is you want to at 4:45 p.m. We have to be entirely clear of the floor by 7 p.m. So it's a pretty good window, and you don't need to stay till 7, but that's when we definitely have to be off the floor. And that's the overview of that.
Yes. And so just before that 4:45 break, or what I was about to say is that there is a small break at 4:30 until 4:45 for our
Yes.
attendees to regroup and find their ways to the plenary session and hopefully drop their last chances with the business cards in to whoever has a, a prize for the raffle. So I wouldn't advise you to start before 4:45,
No, you're
even
going to
though
want
it's,
to yeah,
yeah,
stay intact until 4:45.
it might feel tempting, but there might be people running around in that short last break before the closing ceremony. So just keep that in mind. Great. And then we have some, apart from this, some networking opportunities that all our attendees can participate in. It actually starts already on the Monday, October 9th, where we have a newbie get together. It's an informal pay-as-you-go meetup, and it's right there at the hotel lobby. It's a bar that is called 2050 Lobby Lounge and Bar. So 2050 is not the year that we're going to host this, it's just the name of the bar. And it's a nice, if you are a newbie, it's great. There are oldies there as well, veterans that will welcome you, and you can connect with a few people and get that good feeling about being there. And it's open for anyone to attend. And as I just said, it's a pay-as-you-go event. And particularly if you're a newbie, but if you're not a newbie, if you've been around for several conferences before, this is where the new people will meet. So it can still be a good idea to be there and get to know who are the new kids in town. So that's the first opportunity. Second opportunity, and I will come back to some other things around that. The second opportunity will be at the welcome reception. It is being held at the DoubleTree again, right there at the conference venue. It's between 6:30 p.m. and 8:30 p.m. This is the first really where everyone wants to be, everyone wants to meet and greet. This opening reception, as I said in the beginning, is kindly sponsored by BureauWorks, and it's finger food, some drinks, yeah, and just a very nice first hug and kiss moment. If your company are planning anything outside of the venue on that evening, we really appreciate if those activities don't start before 8:30. This is to honor the sponsor of the event and also not to confuse attendees where they feel that they are dragged between two different haystacks. So we appreciate if you keep that in mind. On the um, next day, on the Wednesday, October 11th, we have a conference dinner. This dinner is going to be hosted outside of the venue at the Villa Ragusa in San Jose, downtown San Jose. It's approximately a 15 to 20-minute bus ride, depending on traffic. And we will have buses going from the venue at all through an hour, I guess, before all of the people are there. So it starts with a cocktail at 6:30, then there is the dinner, and officially it ends at 9:30. But since there is a special occasion, LW50, we will turn the night into a party. So if you like to party, stay for the fun, stay until late, and there will be, again, buses taking you from the Villa Ragusa when we close the show. So there will be earlier buses, there will be a late bus, and in between, anyone can take a taxi from there. It's not expensive and it's easy to grab, or an Uber if you prefer that. For all the networking opportunities, apart from the first one, the newbie get together, you need your badge. So the badge is your ticket to go into the event. Please wear it at all times because we have security on site. They don't know who you are, so it might be a bit awkward or embarrassing if they have to walk up to you and ask who you are or try to guide you off the premises. So wear your badge at all time. If you have colleagues who are signed up for the first main conference day, they are included in that is to participate in the dinner and the welcome reception the night before. So good to know. Wear it at all time. And as Sarah said, repeat, on the back is the QR code. It's your personal QR code. If any of the exhibitors are using the lead capture app, that's the code to be scanned. And of course, you need to have consent. So don't pull the name tag badge off someone and force them to get into your system.
The
Yeah,
other thing
and
we want to mention here, Anne Marie, hearing you say that we have purchased security for our exhibit hall and for our session rooms throughout the event. That being said, it is worth not leaving valuable items there when you are not going to be there. So rather than leaving a computer or something like that, or perhaps if you're a giveaway prize or something, that would be good to take to a hotel room in between times that you're going to be staffing your booth.
less valuable items, if you have candy or things like that, you can probably lock them up if you have a counter there in the booth. Otherwise, also those things can get feet if we're not paying attention. And the dinner, by the way, the conference dinner, as I mentioned, is kindly sponsored by Translated. I think that was all for the networking opportunities that we have to offer. And here we are. We all want to be winners, and we have the tradition at Local to have a closing raffle. It's a very good way to make people stay until the bitter end, that they don't sneak out in that last break, but they actually stay in the hope of walking away from the venue with a nice little prize. We are doing it the manual way. We're old fashioned in that sense, 50 years, no, well, anyway, 50 conferences in the making. If you want to participate in the raffle, and this is all up to you, you don't have to, but if you do, you will get one of these little bags where you collect business cards. I know people don't have business cards anymore, but we have solved that too. So we do have blank cards that we will hand out so that if a person wants to participate in your raffle, you can have a card. You have these little blank cards that people can fill out their details and drop their cards into the bag. From there, at the closing remarks, we will ask each of the exhibitors who have been participating in the raffle on stage with the bag, with the cards. We will make sure that your logo is projected on the wall so that you can get nice pictures for your social media feed with the person who wins the prize. There are three very simple rules. You have to be in the room to win the prize. You can only win once. And what is the third one, Sarah? It escaped me. Yeah, that's for you.
I think that the prize needs to be worth more than
Yes.
$100.
Yes. And we don't, our attendees, I should say, don't appreciate licenses. They don't appreciate bulky items or liquids if they travel only with hand luggage. So anything easy to wrap, easy to grab, vouchers, gift vouchers, or small electronics, things like that are things that people particularly appreciate. So if you have any questions, we actually have a tutorial for this. You can learn anything on YouTube. So on our website, there is a small video that lives on the same place as the toolkit that Sarah talked about earlier. There you can learn everything about how to participate in the raffle. If you don't know today, don't worry. I will walk around in the exhibition area, making sure that I have taken note on any exhibitor who would like to participate. If you know already now, send us an email and we'll put you into the list of participating exhibitors. Did I miss anything, Sarah?
I think that was it. Yeah. So if
Very
anybody has
good.
any questions at this point, feel free to go ahead and either write them or unmute yourself and ask them with your own voice. Or if you think of it later, we're always available to be emailed to. Yeah, there's no questions at this point, but.
Yeah, hi, it's Kelsey from Smartling. I just
Hi,
had a
Kelsey.
question about the lead capture
Yeah.
app, and just in terms of how that works. Is it a lead scanning device, or do we use our phones?
No, it's something,
How
yeah,
many do
it's
we
you
get?
use your own device. It's something that you download. It's a separate app, but also by EventMobi, and it works in tandem with the networking app. Or scanning the QR code on the back of the badge. And
Okay.
it's once the fee has been paid, as many members of your team as would like to have that access can have that access. And all of the leads get grouped together in one spreadsheet that is then downloadable and shared with you at the end.
So this is also the difference between the lead capture tool or the app and the regular attendee app, because from the attendee app, you cannot download data. So if you want to have a downloadable file, then that is the better way to do it, because then you can get it as a CVS file and then you can import it into any kind of system that you're using for your lead generation. And of course, with the raffle, if you participate in the raffle, all the cards are yours to be kept. So you walk away from there with the winner, but also with the cards that you have collected throughout the event.
Good point. Yeah. Does that answer
Okay,
your
thank
question,
you.
Kelsey? Great. Anybody else? Any questions? All right.
I don't see
I
anything
think
in the
that's it then.
chat.
Thank you
Yeah.
guys so much. I know it ran a little longer than we were thinking, but we just had so much we wanted to tell you, I guess. We sure appreciate you taking the time today. And yeah, we're always here. So please do feel to reach out, and we can easily connect with you either in another call or in an email or in person pretty soon.
Very soon. And the recording will be shared with you if you have colleagues that could benefit from watching this video as well. So see you in Silicon Valley. Looking forward.
Bye, everybody.
Thank you. Bye. Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Bye bye.